Même si j'ai confiance à Martin Koskinen, c'est moi qui est le responsable final. C'est moi qui va assumer la décision. Comme on dit en politique, c'est moi qui mets ma face sur le poteau. Pour moi, dans le cas de la SAAQ, la personne responsable, c'est le ministre des Transports. Le responsable final, c'est le ministre des Transports. C'est pas normal que la vérificatrice générale nous informe d'un dépassement de 500 millions. À un moment donné, la vérificatrice générale est là pour vérifier. Nous, on est là pour gérer. Il y a quelqu'un qui aurait dû le voir avant la vérificatrice, le 500 millions. Moi, jusque-là, ce que je pensais, c'est qu'il y avait essentiellement un problème d'implantation. Là, ces files d'attente, bon, ça s'est réglé sur un certain nombre de mois, mais après, pour moi, le problème dans ma tête était réglé. Mais il n'y avait pas, à l'époque, là, de question de coût ou de dépassement avant février 2025.
Just some of the highlights of Premier Legault's testimony this morning. He testified at the Gallant Commission, Chief Prosecutor Simon Tremblay, asking him all kinds of questions. And you heard a little selection there. Basically, he was saying that he has absolute faith in his chief of staff, which is a name that has been coming up, Martin Koskinen, and that I guess that's the guy that was giving him the information. But he says, the buck stops with me, but actually it's the fault of the transport minister, and he's not clear which transport minister. And then he talks about the Auditor General. Well, how shocking it was. He used the word shocking today many times, that he had to hear, being Legault, had to hear about the cost overruns along with everybody else. So I guess he's insinuating that the Auditor General should have informed him or the government before. And lots more stuff in the testimony this morning. Joining me in studio right now is Raphaël Melançon. He's a political analyst for CTV Montreal News and CJAD and a columnist for the Montreal Gazette. And so what did you think of this morning, Raphaël?
Well, I mean, it's quite exceptional. First of all, I think we have to state it, to see a sitting premier testifying in such a public inquiry. It's the first time in 15 years, actually, that we see something like that happening. The last time was
I remember
Jean Charest when he faced the question of the Bastarache Commission and the appointment of judges back in 2010. So already 15 years. So quite exceptional to see that happening. And obviously, Legault was not really happy to be there. Like, no. It really showed. Sometimes he was impatient with the questions that were asked by the chief prosecutor Simon Tremblay, and obviously he was facing tricky questions. And when he referred to the Auditor General revealing basically in last February of this year, the major overruns of $500 million, what he meant by that is that he should have known before. Mm-hmm. His government should have known before. Mm-hmm. And he blamed basically, the issue here with this, everything we've heard so far at the Gallant Commission is that nobody wants to take the blame. Yeah. Nobody seems to be accountable there, either on the public servant side or on the political side. And even Legault today, this morning, said that basically the issue came from the contract that was signed by the previous Liberal government, so under Philippe Couillard in 2017, when they signed a contract with the alliance, the consortium that got the contract with the SAAQ. Apparently, according to Legault, the contract was not clear as to what's going to happen in case of delays and cost overruns. So basically, Legault here trying to find a way out from this whole story, from this whole fiasco, saying, the blame might be put on the previous Liberal government. So that's new here, what we've heard today.
Yeah, back in 2017. It's unclear to me, it's unclear to me where the buck stopped, according to him. He did say, I take responsibility, I'm responsable. But then, yes, the Ministries of Transport, he did say the SAAQ had also not been very clear in their giving the information to the various ministers. So look, there's Transport Minister, there's Finance Minister, there's Treasury Board, there's Cybersecurity. He already resigned. So, do you get a sense of, is there anyone stepping up?
That's the problem here. When there's too many people in charge, then nobody's in charge in the end. Mm-hmm. And that's what we see here with the SAAQclic scandal, is that too many people were in charge. It was not clear who makes the final call on these issues. And what Legault said also this morning, he partly, very subtly blamed his transport minister, saying that the
not
transport
that
minister,
subtly.
well, basically what he came to say is, if I had been the transport minister, I would have had more questions. Yeah. And that is something that I have on my mind since the beginning of this whole fiasco. François Bonnardel specifically, he's been in politics, Sue, for nearly 2 decades now. Yes. So he's a seasoned politician. Whenever you are informed of delays, major delays in public projects, of course, it's going to come with an explosion of the costs. But it seems like Bonnardel specifically, and also Geneviève Guilbeault after him when she took over in 2022, they didn't ask questions that much about what would the costs be, what would the explosion of the cost be, to what extent would it cost more to taxpayers. And this to me is a major issue, and they might be eventually blamed in the final report that will be tabled by the judge Galland in December, because there's going to be a report in December tabled there.
Right, but I mean, the point that François Legault made a number of times today is, well, if there's, like you just said, if there's lots of people in charge, he said, I often say to my people, if there are 2 people in charge, there's no one in charge. I'm the one in charge. So, I mean, is he, at the end of the day, going to suffer from this, do you think?
Well, I think his whole government is suffering from that at the moment, and it comes at the worst time possible for François Legault. It's a nightmare to start the fall, especially at a time where Legault was trying to take back control of the political agenda, because right now he's basically playing his future as premier and as leader of the CAQ. He's got only just a few months maybe to try and turn things around, so he wanted to do that with a major cabinet shuffle that was supposed to be held this week. We'll see if that's going to happen or if he's going to postpone it to let the dust settle after his testifying in front of the Galland Commission this week. Our M&A is going to be back as scheduled on September 16th. There are rumors right now on the Hill that François Legault could be tempted to ask the lieutenant governor to prorogue the current parliamentary session at the National Assembly.
Oh boy.
Oh yes, because
on what grounds?
Well, because he wants to have a new speech from the throne and start on a fresh page, start on fresh basis. So trying to go back to page 1 and trying to revamp or revive his government. So right now it's going really nowhere for the CAQ. They're at the lowest in the polls. They are facing potentially a total wipeout in an eventual election that could happen as soon as within the next 12 months. We know that.
Yeah, October 26th, right?
October 2026, unless, of course, Legault calls a snap election.
Right.
That's always a possibility. But if I were in his shoes right now, I wouldn't do that right now. That's not a good time.
No, and you didn't mention also the ascent of sovereignty in the sort of national discourse. Yeah, but they say a year is an eternity in politics, and lots could change. I mean, I know this is a tough one, but is this the end of the CAQ?
It could be the end of the CAQ, and it is very, to me, it's a major issue that François Legault did not know about this until February of 2025. People
he
around
found out
him,
with all of us.
People
allegedly.
around him, within his government, elected officials, even his closest advisor, like Martin Koskinen and his chief of staff, knew about it, but did not inform the premier. So were they trying to protect him? By doing so, in the end, they might have actually killed him. Who knows?
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Raphaël, thank you so much.
My pleasure, Sue.
That is Raphaël Melançon. He's a political analyst for CTV Montreal News and CJAD. You can hear him on Aaron Rand now. And he's also a columnist every Thursday, a columnist for the Montreal Gazette. And yes, I mean, listen, stay tuned to the website, CTV News. There'll be lots about the Galland Commission.